Here's the video that everybody wants, but nobody was asking for. But lots of you were wondering, hey, I'm doing a K-swap. What about this Osias, however you say it, K-swap motor mounts? I'll tell you what. So my Civic was like $700. I really want Hasport mounts, but they cost almost as much as my car cost, and I really just want to go fast. So I bought these, and I got them for $168 shipped to my door. And the reason I bought these over, say, the PLM ones is because, and as you can see, they're not completely bolted on. I was just test fitting, making sure everything worked out well. And I have to admit, for $168, I am really quite pleased with how they worked out. Now here's the thing, with this top bolt here on the back, now everything lined up just fine. But the threads inside there, inside this part right here, were rusted. So I did what everybody does with the PLM and every cheap eBay K-mount swap, in history. I just drilled out the threads in here, slid this bolt through, put a nut on the other side, and it works beautifully. Besides that hiccup, I probably could have figured out how to clean out the threads, but you could tell that they didn't do anything when they powder coated it. They just powder coated the threads, everything, and then they kind of rusted in there too. It was a mess, and that's why they didn't thread very well. I could have gone through the trouble of clearing it out, but I didn't want to. Everything bolts out good there. See, I got my brand new here. In case you're wondering, that's a Max Peating Rods CRV style mount there, and it works perfectly. Everything fits good. If you're on the fence, now let's go through the rationale of why I did this, okay? I bought the Osias over the PLM. They were cheaper. I wish that they didn't have that stupid branding on them, or they were just raw aluminum, but my options were black, red, and like gold. They didn't have just a silver non-branded one. But the PLMs are 72A polyurethane. These are 62. And since I'm gonna be running them on the street, I'm gonna be driving this car every single day to work. I have done harder mounts. Even the 72As, they vibrate a little bit more than I would want them to. So I went with the Osias because they're 62A. Now here's the deal, $168. Maybe they last me a year. Maybe they'll last me 2. But I wanted to get this swap going. I wanted to get it into the car. These are gonna do the trick. I didn't go cheap everywhere. I went cheap in some places. There's a lot of OEM name brand parts on this car as well. And it's not gonna hurt to go with the cheap mounts to begin with. I can save up, I can go innovative, I can go Hasport later, and I'll do the Hasports later. But since these are essentially a knockoff of Hasport, it's not gonna be hard to bolt in the Hasport after the fact. So if you've been on eBay and you've been going, man, I want to do a K-swap, but that was $550. Hasports, those $490 hybrid racing or $450 ones, or the $400 innovatives, they're all just way too much money for me. I just wish there was a cheaper option. Well, for $168, that was after I put an offer in on it, and they did it for $168, shipped to my door. I would do it again. I'm gonna pop my hood and everybody's gonna be like, oh man, look at those cheesy mounts. And I'm gonna be like, I don't care. I got a K20 and that's the end of the story, all right? Oh, and let's go Brandon. Peace.